Hi, 8th graders. Welcome to another video by Mrs. Guttormson. This is our second video today. Hopefully in this video we are able to come away with this having a good understanding of what is going on in this problem. So this video is sort of going through step by step a different set of shapes but the same questions that are being asked as in the book. So in the book, to begin with, we have these three shapes. We can see our pre-images here, and then we have two images that have been created. This one has undergone a translation just horizontally by -9, so all the x values have shifted over -9. And then this orange one here has undergone a rotation of 180 degrees. Now when it undergoes that rotation of 180 degrees, I don't need to necessarily be specific about it doing 180 degrees clockwise or counterclockwise, because 180 degrees this direction versus this direction, it doesn't matter, just as long as I have my origin or my center of rotation specified, which I don't. So the center of rotation is 0, 0 in this case. So we're looking at these shapes and we are going to go through sort of the process of understanding what's being asked of us in here. So to start out with, we're going to look at this first shape here, and I'm going to direct our attention to this line segment AB. So this line segment AB and its image after the translation, so it's image after the translation, the purple one, it's image after the translation, A prime, B prime, we are going to look at that and say, okay, what is the slope? So based on the last bit of information that we had when it came to translations, if we had a translation of one shape over, what we found was every single one of these lines that we had before, BC to B prime C prime, every single one of those lines should have the same slope. They're parallel. So we're going to use coordinate points this time to prove it to ourselves. So A, B, we have the point 2, 3 for A, and B is 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 5. And so we are going to take this information and find the actual slope of this line. So if these lines are parallel, this line and this line, they should have the same slope. They'll have different y-intercepts if we were to create an equation of them, but their slope should be exactly the same if they're parallel. So let's find the slope for AB. So the slope for AB, we are going to use the slope formula. M is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And we're going to do this math. So I'm going to call this my point number 1 right here, and this is my point number 2, and I'm going to do the math work. So point number 2, the y value of that is 5 minus 3 over 3 minus 2. And I'm going to do that math. 5 minus 3 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. So my slope is 2 for those, or for this line here. The slope is 2 for that line. So if these lines are truly parallel, this line in comparison to its corresponding line on the other shape, I should have the same slope. So now let's look for the coordinate points of A prime. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have -7, 2, and B is -6, 4. So let's do the math there for this one. That means the slope, I'll say this one is my point 1 again, here's my point 2. The slope is equal to 4 minus 2 over -6 minus -7. Notice the minus a negative in there, that's going to be tricky. Minus a negative is like addition. So we'll say 4 minus 2 is 1, or is 2, sorry. -6 plus 7 is 1. So my slope is also 2. So these lines here, AB and A prime B prime, have the same slope. I would want to see that same thing happen on BC and B prime C prime, CD and C prime D prime, DE and D prime E prime, we can see these are vertical lines, so they have an undefined slope. So they're obviously parallel because they're both vertical lines. And we can see this with AE and A prime E prime. These are horizontal lines, so they have a slope of 0. Slope of 0. So these are clearly parallel. Well, technically those ones end up being the same line. So this is pretty interesting. We're able to see that these lines are parallel. So that's part A of this. We just proved that this shape, these lines that are within it, have the same slope. And technically, for A2, you should be going and doing this with other lines on here. So I should be looking at CD and C prime D prime. So I'd expect you to do that. Now, part B says, what is happening with this shape in comparison to this shape when it's undergone an 180-degree reflection or rotation? How do the line segments AB appear to be related to A prime, A double prime, B double prime? How do these line segments appear to be related? Ideally, they have some sort of relationship, otherwise I wouldn't be asking you to look at them. So we know this one has a slope of 2. Let's see if this one also has that same slope of 2. So let's look at the coordinate points, and we'll do the same thing. We're at -2, -3 for this A double prime point. B double prime is -3, -5. So let's do this math. Slope, I'll say this is my point 1. Here's my point 2. -5 minus a -3 will be on top. -5 minus a -3 over -3 minus a -2. -3, whoops, minus a -2, and I'll do this math. -5 minus a -3, so this is -5 plus 3 gets me -2 over, ooh, I don't like that -2. I hope this works out. -3 minus a -2, that'll be plus. -3 minus, or plus 2 is -1. -2 over -1, +2. So my slope for this corresponding line, after it's undergone a 180-degree rotation clockwise or counterclockwise, has the exact same slope as its original line segment on the pre-image. Look at that. They have the same slopes. Kind of cool. So let's see if some of these others have the same slopes. So let's look at CB versus B or C prime B prime. When I do this time, I'm going to look at slope in terms of rise over run. So I'm going to say from C to B, I would have to go down 1 unit, and then to the right 2 units. So my slope here is down 1 over 2. So my slope for CB is -1/2. Let's see if we have the same thing here. I'm going to go down 1 unit, increase to the right 2 units, so -1 over 2. Same slope. Kind of cool. I would think, based on this idea, this translation ended up getting us all parallel lines for corresponding line segments, and our rotation of 180 degrees is getting us corresponding, or like same slopes for corresponding lines as well. So that's part B. So that is the ultimate takeaway that we want to get away or get out of this lesson. So doing this math is what I expect you to be able to do for this lesson. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And I will see, and don't forget you have must-do problems and an exit pass to complete. Thanks for watching. Bye.